what do you think about French contrast method? Do you think the same? It's applicable to all athletes. In which part of periodization in the big picture we talk about? Always, not always in the peak, or I don't know, maybe to overcome some I can say some difficult point of the strength development of the athletes. Well, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I'm a massive fan of these different methods, such as the French contrast, where we're, in complex training, contrast loading, and also there's a few methods that I come up with that were just cycling through from sort of max strength down to overspeed, and I think they're really useful. And one thing, going back to the sort of triphasic point, was one area that I didn't really talk about, which was the injury prevention side. If we're talking about overuse injuries, getting this plyometrics and overspeed and all this sort of stuff right is absolutely essential for injury prevention. And I think one of the not a downfall, but one of the things that we have to consider when we start looking at things like French contrasts is we're starting to really create these supersets or giant sets of back-to-back, and we have to consider the quality. So what is the right rest period, and where should this be programmed? Because we're looking at, potentially 4 exercises back to back. So one performance quality, which I do believe is a real hard one to sort of discuss, which is sort of power endurance and stuff like that. Because ultimately, when we're looking at max sprint speed and, just optimal power output, then we need the recovery, and less is more. It's stimulate, not annihilate. And then we look at this, well, athletes need to produce fast, hard contractions time and time again. So what's the best way to develop this power endurance and this ability to keep going? So in terms of periodization, I would program the French contrasts and different methods that I've devised using sort of max strength to sort of loaded jumps, plyometrics into overspeed with assisted plyometrics. I'd use them once we've built that foundation. The athlete's quite good at the plyometrics, and we know that they're resilient and they're at a good level of strength that they can accommodate this level of stress. I would actually incorporate a little bit earlier, where we're still building that conditioning and we're building that power endurance. And then later on towards the program, I'd strip that volume out and really concentrate on the quality. So less is more. So yeah, it would be seen as almost conditioning them tissues. And obviously we've got the post-activation potentiation, which is a huge thing, both on a physiological level and a psychological level. You lift a heavy weight and you're just firing after that. Whether some of that's placebo, placebo is a great thing. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I'd incorporate them early on within that sort of strength and power phase. Once they've got a good foundation of plyometrics, and then I would reduce it down later on in the program, just because there's a lot of volume there.
Yeah.
For what we're doing, that is.